Welcome, beloveds. I'm Najee Ellaby, founder of Everybody's Juice, where we make culturally aware, science-backed wellness simple enough for you to use, beloveds. So every week, we'll be decoding things like stress, sleep, energy, mood, and of course, sex. Not just in textbook language, but in real life terminology, beloveds. So today's episode is the foundation. It's the omega. Hormones, they run everything, beloveds. Everything. Not just sex, but your metabolism, your recovery, immunity, just your longevity, beloveds. So we'll discuss the heavy hitters in plain English. So cortisol, which is a popular buzzword, it controls your stress rhythm. Insulin controls how you store and burn fat. Thyroid is your metabolic pace. And estrogen and testosterone is where your drive, your repair, your desire to want to ruffle some sheets in the bedroom, beloveds. So by the end, you'll see why your willpower problem is more of a wiring problem and how small, smart moves, beloved, such as when you eat, what time you eat, right? Like training windows, like the right supplements, start putting your system back in rhythm, back in homeostasis, beloved. So if you believe health is wealth, start with the currency that runs your body, beloveds. First off, subscribe, hit the bell, get notified, get subscribed every time we drop, beloveds. And let's get on the journey to reclaiming your biology, right? So let's strip the jargon. So hormones are messages, right? So these are like, I would say, push notifications that your organs send through the bloodstream, telling your cells what to do, when to do it, how to do it, how hard, etc., etc. So think of your body like a city, right? So your brain sets policy, but hormones are the traffic lights, the delivery routes, and the calendar invites, keeping everything on track and on time. So when those signals are clear, everything is beautiful, beloved. Life is flowing. But when they're late or too loud, you get traffic jams, you get fatigue, cravings, mood swings, a low drive. So 4 messengers run a lot of your day-to-day, beloved. So cortisol, which I just mentioned, is like the project manager, right? So it's supposed to rise in the morning to get you up and moving and excited about the day, and then tone it down at night so you can sleep. Balanced cortisol feels like being alert in the morning and chill at night. But if it's chronically high, you're wired and tired, you're storing belly fat, you're snacking on for quick hits. Like chronically low in the morning, beloveds, you start to feel brain fog, and caffeine is, getting you at your baseline. So cortisol gets a bad rep, but it isn't bad, beloveds. It's just that it has to be utilized at the right time. And so insulin is the gatekeeper, right? So when you eat, insulin opens the door to let sugar into your cells for energy. So if snacks, if you snacking all day, beloveds, and you get stuck on, high insulin, your body starts to store that, and that sugar turns into fat, right? So balanced insulin says we've got enough. Slow down, beloveds. But when you don't know how to slow down, it starts to go haywire, right? And that's when you start getting that belly fat and that pouch, so to speak. Testosterone and estrogen. So these are the builders, beloved. So these aren't just men versus women hormones, right? So everybody has both. Women have estrogen and testosterone likewise. They help repair tissue, protect bones, and, they're also important for when it's time to bump and grind in the bedroom. So when they're in rhythm, beloveds, you recover faster, you feel desire, and you keep muscle. But when they're out of rhythm, like you start to feel, a low libido, your body starts feeling soft, right? There's no drive to do anything. You lose your motivation. And so it's important to keep those two balanced. Melatonin. This is like your nighttime supervisor, beloved. So it doesn't knock you out, but it signals the body to power down and calm down and start the repair process, right? So melatonin rises when your light goes low, right? So late night screens, they keep, melatonin high, which it shouldn't be. And it tells your body, don't clock in yet, right? And it just keeps you wired throughout the entire night. And that stops you from getting the rest that you deserve. So here's the revelation, beloveds. Like most of what we label as willpower problems are just wiring problems. So these are messages that are out of sync. So if cortisol is blasting at midnight, no discipline beats biology, beloveds. Insulin is locked in storage mode. Your body will defend fat If testosterone and estrogen are low or lopsided, not balanced, your relationship with the gym and your partner just feels off, beloved. If melatonin is late, tomorrow's brain will be running on fumes. So when your body starts to act up, beloved, it's not betrayal. Think of it as a warning sign. It's feedback, right? So you fix the signal and the system follows suit, beloved. Like, that's how it works. So in a minute, I'll show you how these messages touch everything, beloved. It's like you got his hands everywhere, from weight, energy, mood, sex, and longevity, and what the first fixes actually look like in real life, beloveds. So let's just get right into the meat and potatoes, right? So hormones aren't abstract. They're why your Tuesday might feel different from your Thursday or Friday, so to speak, right? So if you ignore hormones, you're giving away sovereignty, beloved. You're giving away that freedom, that sole source of truth over your body. So you can't be sharp in business or present in your relationship if your biology is bankrupt, beloved, or if it's running on low. So energy. So cortisol runs your daytime rhythm. So when cortisol peaks in the morning and drops at night, you wake up clear and you land the plane by bedtime. But if it's out of rhythm, it looks like wired at midnight and just numb at 7 in the morning. But that's not laziness, beloved. It's timing. So audit yourself. Are mornings a fight for you? Do you crash at 2, 3 in the afternoon, right? Like, are nights your creative window? Like, everything runs in symptoms and patterns, beloved. That's cortisol peaking entirely too late, beloved. It's like entirely too late. So the first fix is light before phone. So step outside for maybe about 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, within an hour waking up. Just let the sun hit you, beloved. Like, you got to set that circadian rhythm. Protein for breakfast or delay caffeine and coffee. I know that's a big ask for a lot of people, but if you can delay caffeine for about 60 to 90 minutes to let your natural rise happen, that will do wonders. And then in the nighttime, beloveds, low lights, fewer screens after the sun sets. So if you do this for 7 days, I guarantee you your mornings will absolutely change, beloveds, and you will feel 1,000 times better. Now wait. So insulin and leptin decide like what to burn versus what to store. So insulin is the door that lets fuel into your cells, beloved. So when it's always on, your body stays in storage mode. So leptin is it's the hormone that tells you that, all right, we had enough, beloveds, no more food, right? But when it's out of rhythm, it looks like, you're hungry after a couple minutes or a couple hours after a full meal, right? Like, weight is sticking on you no matter what you do, no matter how much work you're putting in the gym. So the first thing that I would recommend is adding protein and fiber first into your meals. So build your plate around protein, plants, and water. Another key differentiator, walking after eating. Yes, I don't care if it's around the house, up and down the stairs, whatever you got to do, move your body, beloveds. And then create meal windows, right? So instead of snacking all day, like when insulin calms, your body allows fat burning again. So leptin starts to rise up and speak again, beloveds, which is vital because you don't want to walk around with that little pouch, right? You don't want that. And then mood. So serotonin and estrogen, right? They shape your emotional weather. So serotonin sets calm and content. Estrogen, like, it controls like your receptors and how it can influence like anxiety and irritability and focus, right? So this is why some people feel sharp and social at certain times of the day, and you might not feel social, or you might feel flat at other times, right? So out of rhythm looks like this, right? A short fuse for no reason, right? Brain fog, social battery, teetering between 1 to 5% just about every day. So for women, right, like that looks like irritability or low mood. For men, for the fellas, like too low estrogen, like it can come from, extreme dieting or, too high from lifestyle that can shift your mood on a day-to-day basis, right? And so the first fix that I would recommend is getting sleep, beloveds. Like, sleep before midnight when possible. I know a lot of people like to scroll, but serotonin and melatonin, they share the exact same pathways in the brain, beloveds. And then supplements, beloved. So omega-3s, magnesium glycinate. These are simple and safe allies to help you get that required rest that you need. And then strength training, beloveds. 2 to 4 times a week. It's therapy, beloveds. It's therapy for your brain. And so mood swings are, they're often hormone swings, right? So they regulate the rhythm. Like that story in your head, like it gets kinder the more you continue to train it to where how it needs to be trained, beloved. And then sex drive. So testosterone and estrogen, right? When they're balanced, it's desire, and when they're not, it's dysfunction. So desire is not mystery, beloved. It's messaging. So testosterone supports, repair, your drive, and motivation. Estrogen supports lubrication, sensitivity, and arousal. So everyone has both. Balance is the key though, right? So out of rhythm looks like desire is inconsistent or it's missing, right? Like recovery is slow, sensation is down, ain't no bumping and grinding, ain't none of that, beloveds. And so one thing that's important to remember is that stress, it steals your libido. Your nervous system can't chase danger and romance, beloved. It has to choose which one, right? And so the first fix is just to reduce like your late night stresses. So like news, emails, arguments, all that stuff can wait, beloveds. Protect your parasympathetic window, beloveds, which is important. And then we gotta lift weights, and we gotta lift heavy weights, right? So better blood flow, better nitric oxide, like all of that contributes to a better bedroom, beloveds, and a safer bedroom at that. And then minerals, beloved. So magnesium, zinc. If it like all these, you want to include like a bunch of nitrate-rich foods like beets, like anything that supports circulation and blood flow, beloveds, will increase your desire tremendously. So always thinking about that whenever you're eating or whatever supplements you're looking at, consider the nitric oxide benefits. And then longevity, beloved. So growth hormone and thyroid, right? Like they set repair speed and your metabolic health, right? This is important because your thyroid is your metabolic thermostat, right? So if it's too low and it feels slow and cold, like if it's too high, like you're wired and you just feel worn out, right? And so out of rhythm looks like this. So, your soreness or body pain that just lingers, your skin starts to look dull, like workouts don't hit like they used to, beloveds, and you got to give a little bit more than what you used to give. And that's a clear sign. So one of the first fixes that I would recommend is deep sleep, beloveds. Again, cool, dark room, consistent, lights out, supplement if you need with magnesium glycinate. Then lift heavy, beloveds, progressively. So big muscle groups signal like your growth hormone and they maintain good thyroid health. And then, of course, diet. So protein daily, beloveds, like that supports repair, and it also helps to hydrate your body, which is something that a lot of people are not aware of. So pulling it all together, beloveds, like this isn't about perfection, because I'm sitting up here telling you this, but I still work on myself on a day-to-day basis. But it's about sequence, beloved. So like morning light equals steadier cortisol, protein and walking equals calmer insulin and can raise leptin, right, which can help you stop eating after you had a full meal. Strength and sleep equals better serotonin, right? Like less late night chaos, beloveds. And so when you line up the signals, right, your life without like white knuckling it, right? Like your meetings start to feel sharper, right? Like your patience is stretched a little bit farther than what it used to be. Your partner feels you being present, right? Like this is what sovereignty looks like freedom of your own health, of your own body. So remember, beloveds, if you ignore your hormones, you're giving away that freedom, that sovereignty. And we're here to help you reclaim it, beloveds, one rhythm at a time. So let's keep it real. I mean, your body's been telling you energy and sleep. You wake up tired, you get a second wind at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, beloveds. Then, you nap scroll to, get through the afternoons, to survive the afternoons. Like you sleep like 7 to 8 hours, 9 hours sometimes, but you just don't wake up feeling restored and renewed. Like your belly fat starts to show up. You start to get all these cravings even when you think you're working out and you think you're dieting how you're supposed to, beloveds. Like carbs, like they call your name at night, beloveds. And all these patterns start to show up, beloveds. Like you get that I'm hungry again 1 hour after eating feeling, right? And so like I said, the body runs on patterns, beloved. Like even like your mood and your focus, like you start to get a short fuse, like you start to get edgy and bothersome for no reason. Like you start to have like brain fog in meetings that you just used to just cruise through. Like we have to be cognizant of all these, right? Like your social battery starts to like decline. Like even like sex and recovery, like not being horny. Like if you're not horny, you're not healthy, beloveds. And I've been saying that for years. And then even a little bit deeper, right? Like your muscles are slow to recover, right? Like body pain, it starts to linger a little bit more. Like for women, heavier, longer cycles, or PMS that is just taking over and has become like astronomically worse than what it used to. For men, erections, morning erections at that, morning wood happens less frequently, and your motivation starts to feel flat, right? Like these are all things that we have to take into account, beloveds. So translation, beloveds, these aren't character flaws. They're signals that there are problems going on, right? And so you fix the messages, the symptoms start to fade. But here's the bigger truth, beloveds. Entire communities are out of rhythm, right? Let me get in my bag real quick. Because the stress hormone cortisol has been normalized, right? So the news cycle is cortisol, right? The commute home from work, the commute to work is cortisol, right? The bill stack is cortisol. So when the body's in chaos, society tends to follow. So patience drops, right? Like creativity starts to drop, like your relationship starts to feel like a strain, right? So if your biology is bankrupt, beloveds, your best ideas don't get funded with energy. So you can't be sharp in business, and you can't be present with your folks, with your family, or clear with yourself. The inner economy is broken, beloveds. Balance is sovereignty. Balance hormones are how you buy back attention, presence, and most of all, longevity, beloveds. That's real wealth, right? The kind that you pass down, like real habits, right? Like not just dollars. And balance doesn't mean like perfect, right? Like it means predictable signals, right? That your body can trust, that you can trust. So balance is built by sequence and not struggle, beloveds. Again, by sequence and not struggle. So this channel exists to help you decode your hormones, beloved, and reclaim control. So every week we'll break down one hormone, one supplement, one strategy, so you can reset your body, beloveds, without the guesswork, without feeling like there's no hope, right? So if this hit and you felt it, beloveds, subscribe, tap the bell, drop a comment. What signal do you want fixed first, right? Is it weight? Is it mood? Is it energy? Is it sex drive, right? Do you want to ruffle some sheets in the bedroom, beloved? Your questions shape the next episode. That's our time to the next time, beloveds.